Hi everyone, my name is Cara. I am the founder of FemNerdy, and this is my cannabis story. So my cannabis story begins in November of 2014. It's my tipping point into bringing cannabis into my life as medicine. I remember it vividly because this particular doctor's appointment was an endocrinologist appointment. Now, I had been suffering from ill health for some time. I was overweight, I was miserable. I had been diagnosed with spondylosis with bone spurs, which explains some of the issues I was having, but not all. So because of that, I found myself yet again at this endocrinologist's office. This particular time, I'd been waiting for 45 minutes to find that they had lost my lab results, they had lost my MRI results, yet they felt comfortable enough to write me a prescription with no diagnosis. This blew my mind. I was being a guinea pig, and it was my health that was on the line, nobody else's. And I remember driving home, having that prescription still in my hand, being so frustrated and so tired, and just thinking, all I want is a bone lift. All I want is to feel better. I don't know that I ever took that prescription in, and if I did, I don't know that I know that I didn't pick it up. But it was that moment that opened my mind to the possibility of using cannabis to treat myself. They were using it successfully on other conditions. Why not some of the things that I needed to treat? So I went home and I started to do some research. And it was overwhelming. And it was frightening. And it was contradictory. And it was fascinating. And fortunately for me, I have access to some people in my life that are very familiar with the plant and have spent a lot of time with it. So I understand not everybody has access to that. And that gives you a little insight into what motivates me to do what I do. That being said, I spent from November until February researching cannabis as medicine for myself. It was an interesting journey, to be sure. Chat rooms are precarious, but can sometimes be very informative, but be wary. By February, I had worked up enough nerve and felt confident enough to go see a doctor to obtain my own recommendation. I booked an appointment with an actual doctor in an office. I arrived at a beautiful building with full security. And when I saw the doctor, it was unfortunately very much like people expect it to be. I felt that he listened to me just long enough to hear what he needed to hear and started the process of giving me my recommendation. And that was a little disappointing to me because I really wanted to glean as much as I could from the experience. I had questions I wanted to ask him about treatment. I had some idea, but I would like some feedback from a professional. And I stuck my toe in the water and it didn't seem to go anywhere, so I let it lie. I received my recommendation. I was very grateful for that. And on my way out, I happened to ask about where I was supposed to acquire my medicine and was instructed to check weed maps. I don't know if any of you have used weed maps. It can be a great tool. To those of you who are new to cannabis or don't use cannabis at all, it is, let's call it the delivery and dispensary white pages. That being said, at this point in time, they may not have been as savvy to the updating of the locations that were no longer open. So I spent some time in the parking lot trying to find a open and available place to pick up some medicine, because I'd gotten that recommendation and I was not coming home without meds that day. I found a place. It was nearby. I was shocked because it seemed to be vacant when I arrived. The address was written, I believe, on cardboard and stuck in the window, so that was super welcoming. I parked my car. I went up the stairs, across the building. There was a gentleman sitting in the room in a folding chair who instructed me that I needed to go across the street to the storage facility. I asked him why there was no signage out front, and he told me that the city didn't allow them to advertise the dispensary. Okay. So I went back down the stairs and I went across the street to the storage facility. There was a couple of 20-somethings out there smoking. I assured them that I was there for the appropriate reasons, and they let me in. They checked out my paperwork. I was led into a small room behind a steel door, because that's not intimidating at all. And I was presented with a glass case full of large jars filled with top shelf cannabis. It was pretty cool, I gotta admit. For being somebody who only had access to that experience a limited amount of times in my life, it was pretty cool. So I selected my medicine. He accepted my donation and bagged it up for me, and I left. And I was super empowered. I had bought cannabis like I bought produce. I got to pick what I want, I got to smell it, I got as much as I wanted, and it was great. I was thinking, pull me over, let's have a conversation. I was riding high on my patient status and having my medicine. And that's before consuming anything. My next round of acquiring medicine, I was not quite as brave. I decided to go the delivery route, which is tricky as a parent in itself, because you're allowing these people to come to your home. That was something I had to be conscious of. I was also noticing a prevalency in delivery services of price gouging. And with my history, I could recognize what product would be worth what the asking price was, what was reasonably priced. So what I was looking for was somebody who respected the fact that I was a parent, someone who had consistent product, and somebody who had fair pricing. I ended up finding a delivery service that met all of those, and began using them regularly. So regularly that we began working together, and I started helping promote and market this delivery service, which led me into meeting more people in the industry and recognizing the need of women and wellness and their health and a space for them to feel comfortable. So that's my story. That's my cannabis story. That's what brought me to cannabis. That's what's changed my life. That is what is the foundation on me building Femnuri. It's for women like me, patients who don't fit the stereotype, who are the next generation of cannabis consumer. So, thank you for your time.